How long are you gonna stay in your room, rotting in your bed, crying about how messed up your life is, and blaming everything on your trauma? I am the way I am because of my trauma. Girl, imagine all of your pain, all of your bad choices, all the trauma that you haven't healed from. Imagine all of that deciding your next move. If that is gonna decide your next move, what is gonna happen? Like, it's gonna lead to nothing but more chaos. It's literally gonna feed on you, driving you towards dishonesty and situationship, gonna take your life downhill. Do you really want your darkest version of yourself to get the final say? You have to get to the point where you have to literally just be done with yourself. Be done with yourself. You have the power to heal yourself, to choose differently. If you clicked on this video and then after watching it, you're just gonna forget about it and go do whatever you were doing, same old patterns you're gonna repeat, then this video is not for you. This video is actually for someone who is tired of being held hostage by their past version. Hi guys, welcome to the Thezavverse. This is a universe where we heal from our pain, trust our intuition, and turn our trauma into power. My name is Zavarina, and today we're gonna fight for your soul's rebirth. So let's get into it. You being the darkest version is just a broken survival strategy, like literally. People be like, oh, go cold. No, love, you're not supposed to go cold. You're not supposed to go and try to numb that pain. You were not created for that. You were created in this world. You were put in this world for a purpose, to have these experiences, to feel these emotions, to express these emotions. You're not supposed to go cold just to build that prison around yourself that, oh, people are gonna hurt me. I need to stay cold. I need to stay a cold-hearted person. No, no, no. God didn't create you for that. God created you to be a light in this world. We are the light of the world, and the darkness has never been able to overcome it and never will. We are supposed to share light. We're supposed to give love to people. The enemy is going to do everything in his power to destroy the perception of love in today's generation, because God is love. After a person goes through so much in their life, like an unhealthy family dynamic or betrayal in friendships, like cheating and unfaithfulness, a person actually changes. You change and you stop being the victim. You start becoming a version of yourself that you didn't even recognize. You start becoming the person who uses dark distractions to numb the void just because you don't want to feel that anymore. You start hurting other people. I became the one manipulating my situations because I was terrified of being the one who got hurt. Because after being hurt repeatedly, you become this version of you that you start manipulating things just because you don't want to get hurt again. If you've turned into someone because of what was done to you, I need you to hear this. That is not your true spirit. That was just your nervous system trying to survive a war that it was never meant to fight. Pray. Guys, pray. Talking to your creator is going to be the therapy that you cannot afford. Talking to your creator is going to heal you in ways that you've never even imagined. Like, I tried the last year, I tried to heal myself all by myself and I couldn't do it because I failed at it. Because when something else came and hurt me, my life came crashing down because I was trying to do it in my own power. But you have to realize that you need God. You need a higher power to help you heal. Jesus heals. Jesus healed me. Like, I did everything in my power to avoid God because I didn't want to feel emotions, okay? I was trying to numb my emotions. I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to pray because praying always gets me emotional. And I stopped doing that. And then my life came downhill. Like, it was literally, it came crashing down. And so it's very important to pray and to talk to your creator because that's the best therapy that you'll ever get. You cannot afford therapy. You don't have a best friend to talk to. Talk to God. Talk to your creator who created you. Talk to him. Faith is healing when it holds pain without shaming it. Come to God as you are. God wants honesty. God meets people at their vulnerable state, not perfection. So go to him as you are. God says, come to me as you are. He is the one who is going to heal you. You can do all the work yourself, but if you don't have God in it, you don't have a strong foundation. When God is your strong foundation and you also have yourself, you are gonna heal and rise and you're gonna conquer the world. Psychology expands you, trauma healing stabilizes you, And faith is the one that anchors it all. You have to understand that your darkest self is not evil. It's just a collection of survival mechanisms. It's an energy that never learned safety. You aren't being evil for the sake of it. You're just using toxic behaviors as a drug to numbing the pain of your past. To heal, you have to want to heal. Nobody's coming to save you. Like, literally, no matter how much a person can try to save you, till you don't decide you want to save yourself, you cannot be saved. Nobody can help you heal. You have to heal yourself. And even if a person is like telling you that they want to help you heal, please don't allow that. Don't, because you are going to bleed on those who didn't cut you. From the time I decided that enough is enough, it's time to be done with myself. It's time to be done. Like, stop blaming your trauma for your bad actions. Yes, you went through hell and it messed up with your brain, but you have that decision to make to, rewire our brain, because we have this gift of neuroplasticity, which we can literally use to change our brain, like make new neural pathways in our brain. So just like a follower of Christ dies to their old sinful ways, your brain can physically prune away the old trauma pathways. And when you stop feeding your dark self, those neural pathways, those neural connections, they wither away and die because of disuse. In our brains, we have a prefrontal cortex, which is basically the CEO. It's like the one that deals with logic and consciousness. And then we have the limbic system in our brains, which actually deals with emotion and trauma storage and fear. When you are actually brought up in a very traumatic household, your amygdala gets hyperreactive. When I say to heal, you have to want to heal, I'm talking about the top down regulation. So basically, the top down regulation is when your conscious mind, the top, sends signals to calm the emotional centers, which is the down. You're basically telling your prefrontal cortex to command your amygdala that has been hijacked by your trauma to actually step down, to stand down, okay? Because your prefrontal cortex is now trying to take the wheel. Without will or intent, your down, that is your dark self, is going to stay in control. If you don't bring intentionality to the fight, your biology will default to your darkest self every single time. Coming from a clinical background and having interest in neuroscience, I've seen how neuroplasticity literally rewires your brain. But long before we even had a name for these neural pathways, the word already gave us a blueprint for this transformation. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not be conformed to the world. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind." It's literally talking about neuroplasticity. So now we're going to talk about the battle plan. How are we going to win your darkest self? To actually fight the darkest version of you, you have to define your darkest self. What does it gain by controlling you? First of all, you have to identify the trigger. When does this version of you show up? Suppose like your person hasn't texted you or is seeming very distant, not giving you that much attention. So your dark version is probably going to choose that, okay, I've looked for it in another place, You can go looking into the wrong places, trying to fill that void. And it's just gonna lead you to more self-destruction. You cannot sit with your pain forever. You cannot. You have to actually release it. To release an emotion, you have to feel it. You have to express that emotion for it to finally be released. Also, shadow work. Shadow work is going to rise some emotions up to the surface. It's going to be terrifying. Yeah, it's going to bring all those emotions up to the surface. But shadow work helps a lot. It's literally like your conscious brain trying to figure out what lives inside your subconscious brain. I'm going to give you 3 questions and I want you to be brutally honest about them. You can write them down in your journal. You have to be brutally honest because in the end, I'm not going to be checking them. Like, you're going to be lying to yourself if you don't answer them, honestly. Like, who wants to heal? Who wants to get better here? You. We have to do it together, okay? So you have to actually heal, you have to be honest. Because your shadow self, it thrives in the dark, but it dies in the light. So question number 1, if your shadow self, the version of you that seeks out dark distractions, if that version of you was brought into the blinding light, what would you be most ashamed of? Because When we answer that honestly, the things that you are most ashamed of is exactly where healing begins. Then I want you to ask yourself, what do I fear losing if I fully heal? And who am I without my pain? Ask yourself that, is my pain the reason for my behavior, or has it now become an excuse for not putting in the hard work of being a person of integrity? We are going to take accountability. We're going to take accountability for our actions. You have to get to the point where you have to realize, it's me. I am allowing this. Like, yes, the trauma happened, the bad past happened. You also made uh dark decisions and you blamed it all on your trauma, but now it's time to stop. Like, it's literally time to stop. How long are you going to keep on blaming your trauma for your bad actions? You have to start taking accountability. It's our responsibility to choose differently. You have to train your conscious mind to stop. Like, we have to literally, like, your trauma explains your behavior, it does not excuse it. You have to realize that the past doesn't exist. The past has happened, it's all done, it's all gone. What happened to you, all of the trauma that you've been through, it was very painful. I understand. I understand that what has happened was very painful. You've been through hell. But the past doesn't exist. Where is the past? Where is it? We cannot see the past. Neither can we see the future. All we have is this present moment. And this is the present time where you get to choose differently, okay? Where you get to make the choice that you want to heal. Especially when you made the choice to heal, when you started to choose differently, do not let anyone remind you of your past. Because you are literally here putting in effort to heal yourself, okay? So do not let them remind you of your past. And also, like, imagine the people who remember your past, like what you did like 3 years back, or even what you did like a year back. Imagine they have so much of time to think about what you did, like, at that time. Like, but honey, we are evolving every single day. You are not who you were 3 years back. You're not even who you were yesterday. Every new day, we are evolving, we are changing, we are choosing differently. So do not let anyone, like, don't let anyone remind you of what you did in the past. Imagine they have so much of time to think about what you did in your past. Like, don't they have their own life to focus on? Also, you have to think about the fact that sometimes we think that, oh yeah, we did this like 3 years back, that person is going to remember it. No, they're not going to remember it. Like, especially if they are busy building their life, they're not going to remember what choices, bad choices you made, like, at that time in the past. They're not going to. They're going to be focusing on building their own life. If that person is actually, focused on building their life, they're not. People who are so focused on building their life, they're not going to remember what you did in your past. So take that thought out of your brain. Like, just take it off. Only the people who don't have their own life, who don't want to create their own life, only they are going to be the ones sitting over there thinking like, oh yeah, she did this like 3 years back or 5 years back, and she posted these pictures, and like, she did all of these crappy things. But we are a new person every single day. We are choosing differently, and don't just don't let anyone talk down on you. Why do you give them the power? Why are you giving them the power to literally do that to you? Don't you have enough on yourself to beat yourself up about? Like, there are times where I'm literally beating myself up about my past actions. It became the very thing that I hated. I became the manipulator just because I was lied to. I became unfaithful just because I was cheated on. I was protecting myself, but I was just building a prison, just a prison around myself, just to protect myself because I was terrified of being hurt again. I became the darkest version of myself. But when I finally realized that I am bleeding on people who didn't cut me, I'm like, no, I'm going to choose differently. I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to stop using people as bandages for the wounds that they didn't create. I'm not going to do that to another person just because another person hurt me. I'm not going to build that prison around myself just because I'm terrified of being hurt again. Because honestly, you need Jesus. Honestly, I had become so dark and twisty. But Jesus brought me back. I've reached the point where I have finally forgiven myself for the bad actions. I'm taking responsibility and taking accountability and actually choosing differently now. We spoke about identifying your triggers. So we spoke about identifying your triggers, and then also we spoke about shadow work. We spoke about taking responsibility and accountability. Now we're going to talk about intentional transmutation. So basically, whenever you feel the need to be aggressive or lash out, because like your dark version of you would do that, okay? You have to decide consciously that you are not going to lash out. Even though your hyper reactive amygdala will want you to lash out in that moment, you are gonna train your brain that you're not gonna lash out. And then every time you actually don't lash out, you're supposed to give yourself a reward. Like, whenever you choose differently, clap for yourself that, yay, I didn't lash out this time. I didn't be aggressive this time. I wanted to. Don't even suppress the emotion. Feel it, but feel it. That's what I'm talking about. Transmutation. Okay? Transmute it into another energy. So, like we study in like chemistry and physics, that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but you can change it from one form to the other. You can create something out of it. I'm not telling you to suppress your emotions. I'm telling you to transmute it into another energy. So, if you are aggressive and you want to lash out. Suppose you like writing, right? Suppose you like creating music or singing. Go sing. Go create those lyrics out of that aggression. Transmute that energy into something that has power, into art. Transmute that energy into some kind of art, into creating. Like, I've always been the kind of person who is like an alchemist, okay? Like, whatever pain that I've been through, I always try to turn it into art. So I also like wrote this book in high school where I was going through all these emotions and I was turning it into art. Loneliness, if you feel lonely, maybe go paint if you like painting. If you like running, go to a park, run, walk. Also spend time in nature. Like, when you spend time in nature with birds and greenery, trees, like, it just it kind of cleanses you. Like, I feel like spending time in nature cleanses you. If you struggle with manipulation and gaslighting other people, that basically means that you want control, right? So maybe you can transmute that energy into leadership roles. Like, stop calling your manipulation a mistake and start calling it a choice. That lie that you said, that gives you a false sense of control. The situationship, that is giving you a temporary shield against loneliness just to fill the void. That gaslighting protects your ego from the shame of your actions. So, to actually want to fight the darkest version of yourself, you have to admit that these dark distractions are just cheap substitutes for the actual healing. You are trading your soul's peace for a 5-minute high, for that dopamine hit. Honey, we're not doing this in 2026. 2026, we're actually healing. We are not following how this generation is going. See that this generation is just like, we need Jesus. Before I end this video, here are some affirmations that I want you to repeat. I release the version of me that was built for survival, and I embrace the version of me that was created for purpose. I am changing from the inside out. The old version of me has no authority here. Just like a phoenix bird, I rise from the very ashes of the fire that was used to burn me. The darkness of my past cannot overcome the light of my future. John 1:5 says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Your shadow only has power when you try to hide it. When you bring it into the light, the shadow disappears. My journey from loss and betrayal to being the darkest version of myself and now to actually healing, it hasn't been easy. All that I'm sharing with you guys is from experience. I don't want my pain to be wasted. I want to like turn it into purpose. I want to genuinely help people. Dark version of you that use people to fill the void, lie, manipulated, that version of you is dead, honey. That is dead. We are rising. It's time for your phoenix to rise. If you are ready to let the darkest version of you die, comment down below, rise. By typing that, you're actually telling your own brain that the darkness is not going to control me anymore, that I am reclaiming my power and I am being reborn again. Guys, I hope this video helped some. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the Thezavverse because this is a universe where all your healing will begin. Bye bye.